Going on, guys? This is Shadow from SG TCG, bringing you guys the second round to the top cut locals. This time I was facing a Lucci. I won the dice roll, so I went second. So he opens up one Don and plays Spandom for turn to search top three to grab a CP card. The rest go to trash. So he only had Khalifa as a target, mills two E-shows, which is perfect for me since Reiju, I end up getting a lot of cards in hand. So it passes to me. I have two Don. Um, don't really have a two Don turn play, so I end up passing the turn to him, which is a feel bad moment. I don't have stage or the Sanji to search. So he swings at me for 5. I just take it. I end up getting another Sanji, and he swings for 8. And I give him the pudding since Lucci majority of the time doesn't have a big hand, but sometimes they do. But I draw. I swing for 5 at the Spandom, and I tap 4 to play the Ichiji Don minus, and I play the 7 drop from hand with Rush. Draw off leader, and I swing for him at him for 7. He ends up taking it, and he triggers stage. The most essential card for the Lucci. It's not the most essential, but it makes the deck so easy to go through with minusing cost. So first trigger was stage. Puts him in a better position. After that, I pass the turn to him. He's got 5 Don to play around with, organizing his trash. At this point, I need to find stage so I can start cycling out my hand and finding the bigger Reijus and the bigger Nijis, or more Ichijis, which is what would be great. All I have are the little Power Rangers at this moment. So I'm not in a great position for myself. I do have that Sanji that will let me draw 2, one from him and one from leader. Here he's trying to figure out how he could remove the Ichiji from the board this turn. Which, if he had it, it would be stage, leader swing. That would put him down to 3, and then a Suru would bring him down to Lucci range, but it wouldn't be worth using Lucci at this point since he's got nothing in the trash. You want to fill that up a little bit more. But he ends up playing Khalifa, and he cycles out his hand, chucks a stage and a 2k Kaku. So I end up countering out for 2k, so he swings for 6 at leader. And I draw into Niji. Right now, this is where I end up playing the Sanji, so I could cycle out a bit. I Don minus the same one that I used to play him, so I draw 1 off him and 1 off of leader. So I end up playing the Porsche to Don minus. I have a different play, and I end up just whiffing the search for Porsche, which is a feel bad moment since I did see the little Ichiji and another big Ichiji, which would have been great to have. But it lets me play out the Niji, and I believe I Don minus for the Niji to bounce the Khalifa back to hand just so he can't apply a lot of pressure to me. So I end up putting down 2 bodies this one turn, and I swing 6 with the leader. He has the 2k in hand that he could counter out with, which is what exactly he does. And then I swing for 7, and he ends up taking that. So at least this turn, we were able to establish 2 more bodies on board and bounce his back. But he ends up triggering Ice Age and popping my Foxy Porsche, which was a feel bad moment. I probably I should have just swung 5 or 6 with the leader, and then 7 with Ichiji, and then I could have did the Porsche to Niji, but I wanted just to get rid of that body. So the sequencing, I should have just swung out first and then ended up playing that Porsche to Niji. I would have had 4 bodies. But the plus side is he did lose an Ice Age, which would have made it so much easier to get rid of Ichiji. So he is at 7 Dan. Here you go. His stage to -2 on the Ichiji, bringing him down to 5. Uses Tempest Kick, which brings him down to 2 now, and he draws a card. Now he's in range for a Lucci or a Kaku. And then he ends up tapping 4, and he plays out the 4-cost Kaku, thinking that it is the 5-cost that pops a 3-cost on the field. So this was a big misplay on the Lucci player, since now he wasted a Tempest Kick, forward on to play out a 2K, thinking that it would remove the Ichiji. So this was a big plus for me, since now I could apply some pressure for another turn with that Ichiji, since I don't have another way to play it out. So right now I only have 4 Dan, which sucks, but I'm way under, more than 2 Dan under him, so it lets me play out the Sanji blocker for just 6, or for 3 Dan instead of the 6 cost it is. Swing 5 with the leader to poke, and then I'm gonna attach the Dan to Niji, so I can swing 7 and then 7 with Ichiji. So he gives me a Rebecca, and I swing 7 with the Niji. And here, if he's gonna counter out, he's gonna have to give me a minimum of 2 cards, which is where the pressure starts. He ends up taking it, debating if he wants to use a trigger. Not sure what else he could trigger other than, a stage. Tempest Kick would KO a 3-cost body, which is only the little Sanji. It wouldn't be worth using it on that. He's better off holding on and keeping it for a cost reduction and a draw card. So then we swing 7 again with Niji or Ichiji, and we get 2 cards out of hand. It was a Rebecca and a 2K counter. So now he is down, I believe, to, I don't know, looks like 3 or 4 cards. So the pressure's been going. Didn't Dan minus that turn, so I am at 6 Dan currently, or 4 Dan. Will be at 6. I'm on the way to try to get to judge at this point, since I have no other better plays. Have not seen stage yet, which is what's making this matchup a little bit more difficult than it should be. If I had to stage and I can cycle out into the bigger red Power Rangers, I would be able to apply more pressure and rush him down. So he stages, puts 2 cost on -2 cost on the Ichiji again. He's trying to remove it. Does the Tempest Kick, which is what I figured he had in state or out of life. He was considering triggering. So now he's down to 2. I think he was considering on popping the Sanji, because I played it out for 3, but his cost is up to 6 once he hits the field. Taps another one to plays another Tempest Kick to put it on the an Ice Age. So now the Sanji's a 1 cost. And he plays Spandine, and he's about to play out a Lucci from his trash, which would be the most ideal thing, unless he grabs the Khalifa again. I forget what he does exactly. I haven't seen a Lucci. Oh, yep, it's a Lucci. So the Lucci pops. Lucci's supposed to come in rested, so I believe I do turn it sideways for him. But the Lucci on play. Bottom decks the other 3. The pop. He's considering on what to put. They end up putting 2 Ishos and a Rebecca, since the Ishos are useless in the trash. And then he swings 9 at the Niji. I end up just letting it go. It's not worth dumping my entire hand for it. So I guess I forget to tilt the Lucci. Yeah, so the Lucci is supposed to come in rested. So I end up playing that small Ichiji, and then I finally draw into stage, so I play that out, and I search by chucking the other Ichiji, which is perfect. So then I grab the Reiju, that I can start doing some other Power Ranger plays. But the Lucci hitting the field minus is 2,000 to something. I believe. Yeah, I should have swung out at the Lucci so he had less swings. But I think I just go for life here. But yeah, that Lucci could have been down to 4K. I could have swung 6 at the leader. He would have had to give me 2K, 3K if he wanted to save it. And then I could have swung 7 again at the lead. But takes the leader swing. And then I swung 7. And he counters that out with the 0 cost 6 King pistol and another Tempest kick. So got a lot of pressure. He's got 4 swings right now, which isn't not a bad spot, to be honest with you. I only have 5 cards. So if he swung out at board, I would probably have to let that Ichiji go. I would have to keep majority of that counter for life since a lot of it is 1Ks. And since I did the Don minus, I believe I'm at 7 Don next turn. So does the Tempest kick, brings that Ichiji down to 4. Then he could tap the stage and would bring him down to 2. And then he taps 4 and does a finger pistol, which now he mills 2 to do it. I've never really seen the finger pistol, so I did ask him why he milled the 2. And it turns out it's just another requirement from that finger pistol. He swings 5. I chuck the Reiju from hand. Here I believe I chuck the little Reiju, yep. And I think I take this Lucci swing. Gets me into Chopper. And he does another 4 or 5 and he plays out Sabo. So ideally, I should have caught that Lucci not being arrested because I could have removed that body from the board and been in a better spot. But I chucked the Niji to search with the stage and I end up whiffing, which was a feel bad moment. I should have did the Reiju first, which would have been perfect. So here I do the Reiju now. I do the Don minus to do the Reiju ability with the one I just chucked in the trash. I'm going to end up drawing 3 cards. 2 from Reiju and then 1 from Leader. And I end up drawing a Judge and then a Ichiji, which is pretty good. So I go Ichiji, Don minus, play out the other one. This time I do not draw since I already did the Leader ability once. I reduce the cost of the Sabo. And then now I'm going to swing 6. And I believe I should start going for board at this point, but I forget what I do. So I do go for 6 at the Kaku. He's only got 1 card in hand, so it's not worth protecting. So then I go 7 at the Lucci. And he ends up letting that go. So now I know he's got absolutely no type of counter in hand. I'm gonna be able to survive the next turn depending on how he swings. I do have 5K in counter and 1 life, so he needs to get at least 2 swings through. 1 card. So he swings 5 with the Spandine. I counter out for 1. So now he's down to 2 swings. So he would need to do it in these 2 swings with 7 Don to figure out.
Have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. If you have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging.
Ideally, he could attach 4 Don 2 leader.
A reminder to
That
take
would buff him up to 9, and then that leaves him with another 3,
you can have
which is exactly what he does, but he goes to Ichiji instead. I let it go. There's no point in even trying to keep it. And then he passes turn to me. So I'm in a pretty decent spot. I believe now I go back up to 7 Don. So or am I at 8? No. So I chuck the judge, looking for an Ichiji, which would be ideal, but I draw the Sora because I could do the Sora on play. Give me back arrested 1/4 card,
you can have
and I could grab the Ichiji back, minus the Sabo cost, and then swing 5, or not 5, but swing out with the Reiju, both Reijus and the Ichiji, without having to worry about the Sabo. So here I'm thinking about how to get and do this play. But 3 Soras, I would play the Sora out, chuck the judge, grab the Ichiji, and then do the play all over again with the red Power Ranger. But I'm contemplating on how to do this. Don't know why I'm thinking for so long. So I end up swinging 6 at life. For right now, I should have did the play how I said, because then if he wants to give up the Sabo, it would be less cost. But as I'm trying to bait out a counter, he ends up taking it, which I'm surprised he ends up doing. Now I do the Sora play, chuck the judge, and grab the Ichiji. I just play it out right away, do the Don minus ability, play out the bigger Ichiji, draw off the leader, get into another Reiju. Minus is the Sabo, so now it's a 4 cost. And then I swing 7 at the leader, ends up KOing the Sabo. And then I swing 6 with leader, and he has no counters, and that is game. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys like the video, drop a comment down below of what you guys would like to see, what you guys thought of the game, and then I'll catch you guys in the next one.